tutorial happens to be the volume 2 of course, all right, EDU233, and today we'll be talking about the professionalism of teaching as a profession. Yesterday we started with discussing what it means by teaching, all right, who a teacher is, and made it clear yesterday that before the advent of Islam and Westerners in Nigeria precisely, every adult in a society was charged with the responsibility of teaching the younger ones. All right. And we made it clear that education there went far, it was beyond going to school, it was beyond learning within the four walls of a classroom. Anything that involves knowledge, acquiring of knowledge, anything that involves you discovering what you don't know, all right, anything that involves after learning, there is a change and all right, adjustment in behavior. We were able to tie that down to education. Today we're going to be talking more about education still. And for those of you that are new to the stream, do well to smash the like button. All right, subscribe to the channel, and also it might interest you to be a member of a private class where we do most all the teaching on Telegram. All right, what we do here is more of the familiarization, introducing to the students. All right, and so they get to know more about the course. They will go to Telegram class usually hold on weekends. Students are being introduced properly to the course. All right, students uh, interact one on one with the tutor, and we can interact and do more of digging into the course. All right, with this being said, if you want to join the private class, reach out to me on www.star.com on our official website. You get to see the WhatsApp button on the top right hand corner. Use the WhatsApp button to message me. All right, and we can start the conversation. With this being said, let's go straight into it. So we have, okay, this as you join the stream, do want to say hello, hi, good evening, so we can know where you are watching from and also acknowledge your presence. So now we have, uh, yeah, good evening. It's good to have you on board. So we have the course title EDU233, EDU233. So, like I said yesterday, we talked about education, right? Talked about teaching, education, who a teacher is, and we took some definitions from some sources. So today, now, let's take a bearing from this statement. Now, we talked about a child and how deliberate a teacher should be about, all right, how deliberate a teacher should be about a child's growth, all right, a child's academical growth. Now, it says here that a comparison yesterday, we made a comparison yesterday. We talked about a child being compared to a young plant, all right. It says the child is like a the child is like young a young plant. Now this young plant needs proper growth. All right, this young plant needs proper growth. And who is to ensure this growth? Now the growth we are being particular here, the growth we are talking about here is the academical growth. Okay, speaking of the growth, nutrition, shaping, and pruning. Now, we are making this comparison because every young plant needs a proper growth. Talking about generation of food, exposure to sunlight, and moderate, okay, water supply. All this ensures the plant growth, okay, nutrition, okay, nutrients, nutrition, okay, also as the plant grows, okay, spreading its tentacles, getting more the root spreading its stems and everything and gaining more ground. And on the outer part, all right, on the outside above the soil, right, experiencing the branches spreading out as a result of proper growth fostered by nutrition. Therefore, there is need for what we call shaping. All right. And over time, it also requires what we call pruning. Now, this definition speaks a lot. All right. This definition speaks a lot. Now, why the teacher, all right, can be compared to what? A, a gardener, all right? This, a gardener, a teacher can be compared to a gardener. Now, what is the responsibility of the gardener? The gardener is charged with the responsibility of ensuring, all right, that this plant is properly taken care of. Okay, this plant is properly taken care of. Now, it requires manure when it when manure is needed. It is the responsibility of the gardener to supply the plant with manure. If the gardener observes that the plant is going out of check, maybe as a result of storm, wild wind, storm, erosion, so it is the responsibility of the gardener to help the plant regain its strength, stamina, and position. All right, and when the gardener realizes that okay, this plant is all right is violating certain rules. Probably it's in a compound. All right, it's going up. It's going. The roots is spreading a tentacle to length, whereby it will affect the wall of the compound of the residential apartment. It is responsibility of the gardener to cut, to chop off such roots. It's also the responsibility of the gardener when the gardener realizes that okay, this plant is pruning out, all right, bringing out its stems out and it's bring its body, all right, flowers are coming out here and there. It's the responsibility of the gardener to shape it, help it keep it in shape. When there are dead leaves on the floor, it's the responsibility of the gardener now to sweep and make the environment clean. Now, this gardener is compared to a teacher. All right. Now, this is the responsibility of the teacher. Just like I have made analysis, I've made comparisons, and I've given detailed explanation. All right, on that. Now, let's continue. It says here that the child is like a young plant which needs proper growth, nutrition, nurturing, all right, shaping and pruning. While the teacher is like a gardener who understands the plant, all right, understand. He understands the plants. He knows when to come in and when not to come in. He knows when to allow nature take its effect. It knows when to make correction and when not to make corrections. Understanding, all right, require, all right, understand the plants. Some requiring bending, some straightening, and others pruning. Okay, some requiring bending. Okay, meaning that it is not all strategy. It's not same strategy. It is not a thing of one strategy for one and one strategy applies to all. There are some students that their own is bend them. There are some plants that what they require is nothing more than bending. Some of them is nothing more than pruning, while some is straightening. All right, all are effect of what I call understanding. Remember when we said something about child centered. Now, first class, and it says that every child is different. Right? Some children are fast learners, while some don't learn pretty fast. Now, we call some early learners, all right, early adopters, early, all right, adopters. We call some late adopters, and we call some never adopters. Now, these are three different categories. Now, the first category, these are children that they grab everything, pa, pa, pa. They are blessed with quick assimilation. They understand things very fast. While the late adopters, you need to repeat, they need to repeat things over and over and over again before it can sink through. And the never adopters, they were never meant to be there. All right, they were never. It's not their thing because they would never sink. All right, probably it's not what it's not just their thing. All right, so these are three different categories. So some require suspending, pruning, and some straightening. So you have to understand as a teacher, you need to understand what your students, all right, you need to understand your students. So we have that as a let's take a step further. Now it says here, since the child is the subject of education, the teacher should be able to guide him successfully, all right, to become an achiever in life. Like I said, the teacher needs to understand. There's need for understanding. When there's an understanding, then the teacher can know when, can know, no, not when, can know how, when, and what to come in. All right, how the best approach to penetrate through. All right, so at what point, okay, will the teacher come in? And when the teacher is in, what does the teacher, what strategy should work best? All right. So it says here that since the child is the subject of education, the teacher should be able to guide him successfully to become an achiever in life. Are we together? Now we have teachers are trained, all right, both in theory, teachers are trained both in theory, all right, and practical, all right, both in theory and practice of education. Now let's take this. Teachers, they are trained both in theory and both in theory and practice of education. Now when we say the theory, we are talking about the written part, the book part, all right, must be top notch in their game, all right, spellings, pronunciations, how to present, all right, the topic sentence, how to introduce the body, and how to make conclusions. And the practical part, talking about what we have been trying to say all along, because it's not just about the book part of it. You need to understand your students. The practical part is helping the student to understand what you are teaching. That has nothing to do with the book. All right, it has a lot to do with the individual, the teacher himself or herself. All right, and it goes a long way. All right, I believe teaching is all teachers should be wonderful parents because at in school you get to meet different kind of children. All right, if you agree with me, let me know in the comment section that all teachers are naturally good parents because you get to meet different type of students. Students that will frustrate your effort, students that will make you smile, students that will make you even feel like quitting your job. All right, this is the which and the practical part. should attention should be paid more to the practical part of the job. All right. The practical part of the job is overwhelming compared to the theoretical part. Because probably if you can read and write, you are good to become a teacher. But it's beyond that. Because that's some teacher will take a course, they will deliver it perfectly, all right, but the results will be poor. And some teacher will take a course, they will deliver it perfectly, and the result will be overwhelming. Why? The teacher gets to understand that okay, this is the strategy that works for the students, this works for the students. It's not one strategy for one, it's not a strategy for one, and it applies to all. Okay, so we have that as that. Now let's continue. So we have now it says here emphasis are placed on the teacher's influence, character, and example. All right, the teacher's influence, his character, and his way of life has a lot of responsibility to play, all right, in ensuring the child's progress. All right, is very, very important. Is very important through his influence, his character, and his example. Important, all right, through his slash her influence, all right, character, character, and example. Okay, now a teacher is expected to be patient, all right, and be fond of the child. Is expected to be patient. You know, that's has to do with his character. All right, you have to, like I said, some children are patient. Like some children will might frustrate you, so you have to be patient. Okay, and that you have to be fond of the child. You need to know how to roll, how to move, carry the children along. Now, the teacher needs perseverance. He needs high ideas and a and desire to give time. Okay, energy, thought, and cares for his work. Like I said, the practical part of the job emphasis should be laid on that because you have it requires you, as a teacher you should not be motivated by your salary. You should be motivated. It is just necessary to be paid well. You know there are bills to fund, right? But beyond that, as a teacher, you are expected to be passionate about what you do because what you do is you are actually molding lives, right? And it goes a long way in a child's life. Okay, so now speaking of the duties of a professional teacher, okay, let's take that. Let me make a list possible and take that. Now we have the duties of a profession of a teacher are the assigned responsibilities that are all right assigned responsibilities a teacher must perform at one time or the other. All right, these are assigned. Okay, they are assigned responsibilities. Okay, they are assigned responsibilities. Okay, a teacher must perform at one time or the other. Now, in teaching and learning process, all right, there are teachers are numerous roles. All right, like I said, teaching and learning process. All right, we have what we call numerous roles. All right, it's not everything fine on paper. Now, the teacher as a technician, right? Let's consider the teacher as a technician. He should be able to know how to apply various principles. I said this earlier on, knows what works for each child. All right. Just quite unfortunate that some schools can have about 50 students in a class. And this same teacher, one teacher can take five, three, seven subjects. I'll be intended that teachers will cover a lot, understanding child, real, understanding a child. All right. So now it is beyond that. All right. So now let's consider a teacher as a technician, as a teacher as a technician. All right. The teacher as a technician. All right. Let's consider the teacher as a what? As a technician. Now here, as a technician, what is his responsibility? His responsibility here is to know how to apply various principles of teaching, leading to a change in behavior of the student. All right. How various what? How to apply various principles. How to apply various principles. What works, like I said, it is what works for A will work for all. All right. As a technician, you should be able to know what works for this and what works for that. All right. It says here a teacher as a technician slash what works. All right. So as a technician, you should be able to apply various principles of teaching. All right. Definitely, when you're being taught, you need to see changes in behavior of the students. So that is, teacher must know how to motivate, to encourage the students. All right. Still on still, what works? All right. How to encourage. All right. How to motivate. How to encourage. How to motivate. All right. Students. We have that as that. Okay. We also have, it says that it is the responsibility of a professional, all right? It is the responsibility of a professional teacher to what? Create a conducive atmosphere. A conducive atmosphere. A teacher must learn how to create what we call a conducive atmosphere. Now, this does not have to do with what the school or what the system has to offer, irrespective of what the school, what the system, what the management has to offer, irrespective of all that, as a professional, now creating a conducive atmosphere goes beyond a classroom with all the gadgets, with ACs, good chairs, and everything. It goes beyond that. Now, This conducive atmosphere that we're talking about has to do with the psychology of these children, of the psychology of your students, in the sense that you need to make them feel relaxed, number one, feel free, number two, and be open minded. You know, we said something about um, you being fond of these children in the sense that when they are relaxed, they are happy to see you, be around you, they are automatically open minded. Their mind is open to learning. It's not a situation whereby the teacher gets into the class and student begins to panic. All right. That first impression will erode the children of what the teacher is about to take. All right. So they should be happy to look forward to being in your class, all right, even though there's a situation that might have prompted, all right, student might have prompted that they are not okay mentally, they are not psychologically okay to take class, you should be able to turn things around and make them feel all right psychologically, mentally, and be open-minded to receiving lectures or taking classes. Now, it says there, conducive atmosphere in the class and have good human relations, or human relationship with the students and his colleagues. Now, conducive atmosphere, you can only get that by having what I call, all right, having good relationship, having good relationship with the students, having good relationship with the students. Okay, so we have that as that. Now we have cordial relationship, also very important. Cordial relationship will help students to work with, all right, little or no supervision by themselves. All right, student, the teacher also need to in, also need to advocate, all right, for what we call, teacher also need to advocate what we call cordial relationship. So it's not just about what is there to teach. It must also help the student to understand the importance of working together as a team. All right, that will even help reduce his own, all right, reduce the job load on his own part. Because students now can work together and do things even without little or no supervision. All right. So it says here that working together, cordial relationship will also enhance the students' right attitude towards the teaching profession. All right. So it also enhances the right attitude towards the teaching profession. Now, the teacher serve as a model, all right, a person to emulate. All right, he is a model. All right, he should be a model, someone, all right, to emulate. Is a model, someone you can look up to and want to be like. So we have that as that. Now, very quickly, Salami in 1999 and Ibrahim in 2005 differently took in-depth look at the duties of a teacher. All right. So now let's list out some of the duties of a teacher very quickly. Now, the teacher must be capable of promoting morals. All right. According to Salami and Ibrahim, Salami, Salami in 1999. All right. And Ibrahim 2005. All right. Some of the duties they highlighted that a teacher must be able, all right, a teacher must be capable of promoting morals, all right, social and cultural heritage of the community which he serves, all right, promote morals, all right, speak well of the social heritage, all right, social heritage, of the community which it serves. Also, we have, all right, a teacher must be prepared to learn all the time. The teacher himself must be open-minded, prepared to learn all the time. The teacher himself must be open, all right? The teacher himself must be open-minded and he must be able to help students to have, all right, cordial relationship. All right, and just before we call it a wrap, all right, no, okay, now let's call it a wrap here. So in our next class, we'll talk about poor image, all right, teachers' poor image. Thank you very much, everyone. I believe you learned something for this class. Please let's go to submit our notes and send a follow-up note with the appropriate quarters. And I look forward to you all on in our Telegram class on Saturday. Do have a wonderful evening. Bye for now.